Okay, so as you can see, I've pulled yet another panoramic back into the HoloLens. I went and shot this in a place called Bella Pace. It's a Second Life simulation. As you can see, it's just a sort of a panoramic. There's no dynamic motion or anything like that, not even the beautiful sounds that this author has put into his simulation. But we should be able to get a quick look around using these panoramics. I've made about 50 of them at various locations throughout the sim, and we'll go ahead and sample a few. To give you some sense of how I did this, here's a beach on Bella Pace, which I think is Spanish or Portuguese or Italian or something like that. In any event, so I go around in Sims with a special type of virtual camera that points the camera in 8 directions around you horizontally. I don't do the top or bottom, as you can see, because I don't get a lot of value add looking up at the sky or down at the ground. Here you can see a big map of the entire territory. As you can see, it's really gorgeous and really fleshed out. In any event, so I'm going to just keep taking you on a tour and talk about the process I used. So a friend of mine, Morgan Ogburn, he pointed me to something called Hugsin, which is a tool that will take panoramics and stitch them really nicely for you. And I'll include links in the video, and I will probably write or make a video on how to use Hugsin to process the captures that I make in Second Life. It's all quite easy. Capturing one of these panoramics takes all of about 15 seconds, and you can get some really amazing places to serve as backdrops for your products, or you can use it to sell products, such as you might sell this entire sim, and instead of having someone get in the sim and look around, you can give them something a bit more glanceable like this. Just a link to this on a panoramic server, and they'll be able to walk around and see if they want to buy it, even if they can't hook into the simulator. They can always buy it and know what to expect. These beautiful flowers, the level of detail is just incredible here. You got lotion for either your bathers and so forth, and we'll take a little bit more of a tour, keep it going. So ultimately what I want to do is have it so I can be looking in a direction, and if there is a little pocket universe in that direction, we'll jump to it. As it stands, I just sort of jump around in a general location you might recognize from the last place I was, but just sort of moving around. But I didn't go inside. I don't want to invade anyone's privacy. Just sort of walking around on their grounds. But lots of stuff to see. It's a huge simulation, and hopefully we'll get another look at that statue in the near future. There it is from behind again. You can see where we came from over there. Now this thing I built on the HoloLens, this will probably die in a minute or two. I'm not sure what the problem is yet. I think it's obviously user error. I'm screwing something up, but I'll get that fixed. If I have to do this in 2 takes, so be it. But so if you had any misunderstanding about what Second Life looks like, this is pretty much on par with most of the stuff I see the NeoVR community doing, with the exception of stuff like Witcher and the super high-end stuff. But like this is just gorgeous, and the guy who runs it, I think he pays for it with tourism. So people will pay to tour his grounds, which I think is pretty darn neat. The fact that he can build a simulation that can serve as a backdrop for character portraits and so forth, or product photos. I think we're going to go up there next, so give us a nice scenic vista from the top of here. Well, maybe not. Let's see what else we got. They're coming up on that statue again. Where am I? Ah, there she is. So, very tastefully done, I might add. So we're going to start heading out of the villa and down into the fields. Lots of beautiful places to see. There's the gate where we just came from. Getting closer down to this other person's house.
Recording.
All right, welcome to the second half of our adventure. Looks like that recording stopped midway through. I'll just get started where we were again. Anyway, just it's so beautiful. I mean, if you've never been to Second Life, Bella is the place to start. Well, once you got the walking around part figured out. But it is truly beautiful. Just any place you go here. And the ambient sounds, like I said, I haven't captured. Oh, there's a vineyard. And we're getting a little closer to this house here. But you can imagine how if you were building a simulation and you wanted to get it in the press, well, obviously the press is still in the 20th century. You know, they're not able to show, they're not able to drop you into, teleport you into virtual spaces yet. But in the meantime, this is a pretty good approximation of what it might be like to visit a space. So it makes it a lot easier for reporters to report on new media, for them to be able to go and do a little photojournalism, if you will, and give everybody a pretty rich experience of what it might be like. Because I'll be able to host each one of these panoramics, and I'll link to them in the comments or in the show more or whatever is in YouTube, and you'll be able to see these and experience them yourselves and have a little sense of agency as you pan around on your own. This probably isn't very exciting from a viewer standpoint, but standing here, walking around in circles, looking at this beautiful place, it's pretty darn cool. So the closest you're going to get without a HoloLens is checking out the panoramics that I'll point out later. It's pretty cool, though. I plan to sell the system in Second Life, so it'll be very cheap, very democratic, I promise you. I want everybody building these. I just want to get the ball rolling and get a product up there and try and pay for all the extra time I put into this.
Recording.
All right, so we're here in Bella Pace. I'm just sort of looking around, showing off how this panoramic viewer works, at least in practice. As far as assembling the media, for viewing, it's super easy. I'll probably do a separate video on that. This will just give you a sense of what you'll see when you build these panoramas and how you can use them to market your goods, market your spaces, get word out. As I was saying, the traditional media is not prepared to really do any reviews on simulated spaces, and you're probably used to very few right now. You probably don't realize that Second Life is a rich and vibrant world filled with places like this, and this is one of many. This is one of my favorites, though, I have to say. It's just unbelievably gorgeous. The lighting that they do here is just really sets things apart. It's that golden hour that the photographers talk about all the time. So, I don't know. You probably have much higher standards trying to do photorealism, though I don't know why. I'm not sure we're building photoreal VR for any good reason. And the virtual world is full of much bigger possibilities. You don't have to worry so much about the material sciences. You don't have to worry so much about things being scientifically accurate, which means you can have a lot more fun using your imagination. Like this place doesn't exist. It's not, it's not modeled after anything in the real world, but yet here it is. Pretty darn realistic for something that doesn't exist. Anyway, it's just beautiful. It's a great place to go. I'd love to do more of these, but the post-processing and the building of this app took quite a while. So if I can recoup some of my time, at least with some money, that'll be good. And I'll just have to count on the community for that to see if they're willing to support more work like this and innovations along these lines. Because we can put this in we can put it in the Vive, Oculus, whatever. It's just a question of making the panoramics, and that's not so hard when you get down to it. Can't wait to show everybody.
It's time to recharge.
Ah.
You have 34 minutes of battery left.
Oh, that's not so bad. I can get done. All right. Thank you, Cortana. Let's see if there's anything else worth seeing. So here we are standing among the vineyards. I don't know. Now we're in the woods somewhere. But ideally, as I walk forward and such, it'll have a more sensible locomotion paradigm. me tapping around is a little confusing for a viewer, I'm sure, and even I get a little disoriented sometimes. I'll talk about that a little more in the video where I built this. So here we're just trying our best to enjoy ourselves without picking on it quite so much. Anyway, it's a beautiful place, Bella Pace. You should visit, you should get in Second Life, and you should experiment. It's the only place where you can do what you want to do 24/7 with friends all over the world, collaborating via voice chat. It's incredible. You're a fool to be missing out. Get yourself in Second Life. Look me up. Iliastra Ascendant. That's my name. Look it up. Bye-bye.